Let's hear a little sound, Sean.
118 yards and adding to it. There goes Barkley into the clear, through the snow, all the way home. He's hit another home run against the Rams. And this one might send them to the championship game. 78 yards.
Deja vu all over again.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the call from our next guest who broadcast the Eagles' win last week in triumphant fashion as they get to the NFC title game. And the man who has just been named NBA play-by-play man for NBC's coverage next year, he is the great Mike Tirico joining us on the Comcast Business Hotline. Hello, Mikey.
I guess you don't want to talk Sixers today, do you?
No, I do. I actually do. I'm glad you brought that up. We'll fishtail that. But
okay, good to be with you, Mike.
You had some. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
We had some great. We've been playing your calls like after that game. A play-by-play announcer when he has big plays like that, and you had one from the jump with Jalen Hurts, and then two from Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's like the perfect scenario for a play-by-play guy, right?
Fun game. Great atmosphere, great energy in the building, and player who can do it, right? And he did it twice, and we had that game, and it was almost one of those you could see the play starting to develop. My last look before the snap, I was looking at Chris because I said right before that, I said Barkley time, right? And just wanted Chris to weigh in that, you're going to be feeding him and, the Rams will be up at the line of scrimmage to stop him. And as I look back before the snap, I just watched the safety creep it a little closer, like, oh, man. And he just took off. That setting was cool. We had talked about the weather all weekend. And you start the game, and it's not as much snow as you thought. You're like, oh, man, we're going to be denied a snow game. But to watch that and see the way it played out, and it was built for the Eagles. That's what we said right at the open, a good defense and an offensive line and a running back to lean on. And that's what they did in the biggest moments of the game.
Yeah, very dramatic setting for that game with the snow and the grind-it-out type of mentality and the blue-collar Philadelphia. All the elements were there. But, Mike, it's fascinating to me that even though the Eagles are a prohibitive favorite in this game, the national look at this game is, oh, my God, if Jalen has to beat him with his arm, they're in trouble. And everybody, even ex-NFL quarterbacks are coming in saying, well, they don't have the passing game. That's got to improve. They have created such a template of consistency on how they win. They stop you and they grind you up with their offensive line and running the football. I just don't get why people focus on the lack of the dynamic passing attack.
So the scenario, let me go with one point there. I thought Jalen was interesting as we met with him on Saturday, and Nick as well. Just being really honest that, we can win multiple ways. Just because this is the way we're winning right now doesn't mean we can't win a throwing contest, right, if they had to. However, they're best built to do this. I think where it gets interesting is, let's say Washington jumps out to an early lead, as they did against Detroit, and you're playing uphill the whole game. Not likely to happen, but possible. Well, we watched Washington move the ball on a lot of people, and Jaden Daniels is wonderful. He's everything that a rookie quarterback isn't supposed to be, right? He can do so much. So then if you're down 2 scores and it's late third, early fourth, can that switch be flipped? And the reason people are saying, well, I don't know, is because we haven't seen it in the last few weeks. So I think that's why there's the trepidation. But if you play the scenario the way Philly wants to play, defense, run it, take a lead, game control. Game control, Mike, that's one of those terms that was used around college football when you're trying to separate good teams. They have game control. I think the Eagles have been terrific at controlling the game, and that becomes more paramount, I think, for them, and not falling far behind and having to come back and throw the ball in the fourth quarter down 7 or 10.
Yeah, listen. I get that Jaden Daniels is playing out of his mind and playing with more poise than he should. But I'm looking at how are they going to be able to? I would think that they would need to score 30 points to win this game.
And they can, and they can
against this defense. You think they can?
Yeah, I do. I mean, what the Rams almost scored 29, right?
Yeah, but a lot of that, that last two touchdowns, a lot of prevent defense, a lot of soft.
I mean, a little bit, but certainly not that last drive, right? I mean,
Yeah.
look, prevent defense, you're moving the ball down to get in the red zone. I get that, but all of a sudden when Quinyon Mitchell was out of the game, it was a little bit different, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, and I know how good Cooper Kupp has been. He's not that right now, and I know what Nakua is. I think listen to me. I'm glad I didn't say it on TV. The Commanders' offensive skill package at the receiver presents some challenges because they have some different players. Jamison Crowder working inside, De'Ami Brown getting deep. We know McLaurin's a true number one, and Ertz. You start thinking about it. There's a lot to that receiving core. Eckler out of the backfield. When you go Eckler, Ertz, and McLaurin, those are tough covers. So you're stretched. They can stretch you in the pass game with the versatility of their receiving core. So I do think they could score 30. It doesn't mean the Eagles would lose the game, but I think it's possible. And look, a lot of it depends on Mitchell. He's been terrific this year, but it was a different feel to the secondary. I mean, how many times did they throw at Isaiah during the second half? Yeah. Right? Yeah. He hung in there. But it wasn't the same as having Quinyon in there.
Yeah, and obviously the other factors hurts his knee, and whether that takes away a read option, where you can play that a lot easier. I get it. It sounds like you think the Commanders have a shot in this game.
Shot, absolutely. Look, I mean, having seen Detroit a lot this year, one, living in this area, and two, having the Lions three times this year, and studying for them week 18, so I watched their week 16 and 17 games twice. That is a great win. I know Detroit turned it over 4 or 5 times. Goff did not have a good game. They still scored 31 points. The defense obviously is nothing what the Eagles' defense is like because of the injuries. I mean, truly, more than half of their opening day two deep, so the first string and second string, were out of the game from the second play on. So it's very hard to win a playoff game. Having said that, I think they could go in there and score. To do what they did in Detroit tells me they could go into the link and score 27, 28 points. I would not be shocked if that happened. That doesn't mean I don't think Philly can't score 35, but this team can score. They've got an offense that I like. What will hurt them, I think the big injury, I don't know how much it's been talked about, is losing Cosme, the right guard. He may be their best offensive lineman, and you lose a guard against Philadelphia, it can wreck the game because we saw 98 do that on a regular basis. Jalen's playing at the top of that position in the NFL.
He's a monster. It's awesome. Amazing how he's dominating right now. Mike, I got to ask you this because this is not anything to do with the game. You are universally accepted, liked, and approved by everybody who listens to play-by-play people. It doesn't matter what sport you do, and I'm not doing it to patronize you, because there are people that are excellent, like Al Michaels and Buck, and they get criticized. You are universally liked. I don't think I've ever heard you be criticized by anybody who listens to you. How have you been able to pull that off?
Well, I get criticized. I get criticized on a regular basis. So
I don't know where I don't see it. I really don't see it. You get 100% approval.
It comes with the territory. I try to do a few things. I just try to live by the thought of you document the game, you inform the audience, and you entertain them every once in a while. And we get paid to kind of work for the fans. So you try to do as many stories and facts and information as you can to make the game interesting, but also care about it. Like I love going to sporting events. With the weather, we were talking about, hey, do we need to leave early to get to the link on Sunday? With traffic, maybe dicey around the stadium. If it's snowing, it turned out to be fine. But my line to our group was, hey, I'll get there at 10 a.m. I love to be in an empty stadium and watch it fill up and feel that anticipation of the game coming. I still love the job 30-some-odd years later, and hopefully that comes through in the enthusiasm for the game and calling the game. And if it does and you feel it's okay, then I've done a good job for you, and I appreciate that. But I absolutely love the job. And, to sit there, I mean, I'll tell you this, Mike, which I haven't told folks. I take a picture during the national anthem from our booth every game that I've done here for Sunday night these 3 years. It's just nice to kind of look back and just remember those settings and appreciate, you've got the best seat in the house, and the job is to kind of let the audience feel that energy that you're sensing from the game, and hopefully you try to do that best you can.
Is doing a game.
I appreciate the kind words.
No, there's no question. I mean, we've been playing your call. You just have the requisite amount of excitement for the moment. Doing a game in Philly, is it a different experience?
Oh, it's great. So I grew up in New York, so I understand fans who hate you if you hate our team, because we're the only ones who are allowed to hate our team. Right? That's like, wait a minute. Don't talk about the Jets that way. That's my responsibility, right? I'm going to defend my team until they're bad. Philly sports fans are everything as a person in this industry you want. They are educated, passionate, loyal. And it's everything you want in a series of fans. And I love how that energy is in every building that you do a Philadelphia game in, especially for the Eagles and the Link. And, man, it's fun. And you know what? They're a great team to work with. PR staff's terrific. Nick is great. Enjoy our time with Jalen. Our visit with Saquon was so cool. So I'll tell you this. Saquon tells us, Mike, people are giving me too much credit for sitting out that last game and you're not going for Eric Dickerson's record. And he said, here was the deal. Like, I wanted to get the record for the offensive lineman, but Nick made the decision that, you know what, for all of us, we're going to rest some starters here since we don't have a bye week, and let's get ready for the games that matter. And Saquon felt relieved when Nick reached out and told him, I'm going to sit the starters here, or some of the key starters. He felt relieved because the decision was kind of out of his hands. But, like, to have that kind of conversation, you feel just a comfort with the people who you're covering, and you're able to share their stories a little bit better. So, yeah, top to bottom, coming to Philly over the years has been fun. And really, one of the big reasons I have this great affection for Philadelphia is Jaws. Working with Jaws from the very beginning of my ESPN days, I got to understand the Philly folks, and seeing my friend Donovan McNabb go through everything he went through in Philly. You just understand the city, and I just have an appreciation for the passion. It helps make our job so much easier.
That's that Syracuse bond you have with number 5.
Absolutely. It's my guy.
Yeah. Last question, because, the news broke today. You're going to be the play-by-play man for the NBC's NBA coverage, and we'll look forward to that. And you brought up the Sixers. So let me close with your thoughts on what is going on here with this situation. I'm pretty sure that they're close to shutting it down for the season. But what is your view on this?
So here's the stupid thing. They're sitting in the 11th spot now, right? Mm-hmm. And they're, couple games out of 10 or 9. You really want to see a motivated Sixers team at the end of the season trying to make a push. So, in other words, if starting with Joel, if everybody's on board for a push starting, pretty soon, they can still certainly be a factor in this whole thing. But it's got to be everybody involved. I thought it was interesting watching. I watched not the whole game, but a little bit of the Denver game last night. And Nick took a timeout in the second quarter that was like, what the heck, guys? Like, there was first quarter. It was like, what the heck? There was so many rim runs by the Nuggets. They were easily getting to the basket. No contest at the goal for layups. And it was just a team going through the motions. And look, you're in Denver, you're at altitude. The Nuggets traditionally run people into the floor in the first quarter. But to lose 7 games in a row with that ability and that talent on that roster, it's just not connecting right now. So they've got to decide who's on board, and are they going to put the boat in the water and make a run here, or, like you said, shut it down. There's still half a season left, so it's not over. Just be patient. Problem is, when the Eagles season ends, people are going to go, okay, where are you?
Well, they're getting a pass in a lot of ways.
That's right. Yeah. And it happens. Sometimes you be in the afterglow of one season. Eagles make a Super Bowl run. It's a couple more weeks to cover, and then February 9th you go, are you kidding me? This team with these guys has this record? So it's not over yet. But they, like you said, they've got to make a decision here soon if they're going to get engaged here or not.
He's the great Mike Tirico. Mike, can't thank you enough. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, and we'll look forward to your NBA stuff.
Yeah, good luck to everybody there. It should be a fun Sunday at the Link. We'll be watching and looking forward to Philly fans enjoying a great weekend. Thanks, Mike. Great to catch up.
All right, there he is, Mike Tirico. Thank you, Mike, for coming on. And, I know. He's trying to be nice to the Sixers. He was. Trying to be a little bit nice.
He does a great job, though. The only thing I was waiting for you to ask him is if they would have removed the 3 touchdown runs and the 2 turnovers.
Oh, yeah, I should have.
If the game would have been different.
I should have. But then that would have put him in a position to criticize.
Another NBC guy. Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
I wanted to hear him go after Sims.
All right. So
Hey everybody, it's Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can engage during the show, and you're not going to want to miss all the content that we post. It's not only the live videos, it's videos after the fact. It's our shorts. It's all the content you want as a Philadelphia sports fan. Looking forward to connecting.